guest, welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Andrei Kirilenko, and Andrei wants to know, do I think that the fall season, meaning Big Brother Over the Top, is going to be a second chance season, and would I like to see one? That's a great question. There's been a lot of speculation that next summer is actually going to be an all-star season. Would I like to see... Here's the thing. Okay, so this fall season is only, I think, 10 weeks long, and I feel like if they're going to do All-Stars, I want to see it done full out, like, on TV, and, like, 3 episodes a week, you know, like, the whole works. Like, this is only going to be 1 episode a week. If it's going to be All-Stars, I want, like, as much All-Stars as possible. But I would like to, if it is All-Stars, I want it to be a second chance. I don't want to see people coming back for, like, the 3rd and 4th time. Because as much as I love some of these former house guests, I think when they did Survivor Second Chances and it was all second chance people, it was intense and it was awesome. So I would like to see that at some point, but I don't know if it's going to happen this fall or what. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Alright, so now let's talk about what's going on in the house. So James and Natalie are up on the block, and they had the Power Veto competition yesterday. It was a long-ass comp because it was one of those individually timed ones. It was a MacGyver theme. Does anyone else think of the SNL skit, MacGruber, whenever they see that? MacGruber. That's the only part I know of the song. But anyway, I totally thought of that. So the house guests were all covered in soot. Their clothes were all ripped up. I guess they took some explosions to the face. And Corey was the big winner. He won the Power Veto and a trip to Atlanta. It sounds like he's going to have some behind-the-scenes action on the MacGyver set, so that's pretty cool. Will he take Nicole on the trip? I don't know. But just a heads up, he will not be using the Power Veto. That is pretty clear. So after the competition, Paul, Victor, Nicole, and Corey were up in the HOH room, and just a little side note, Big Brother got them a crap ton of pizza, and it was all up in the HOH. I guess they were all waiting up there while everyone was competing. So they were trying to figure out, who are we going to take out this week? Like I said, the veto is not going to be used. James and Natalie are going to stay up on the block. One of them is going. So Victor's like, I want James out. I made it very clear. You know, I called him out in my nomination speech as my target. So he's saying he would feel more comfortable in competitions against Natalie than against James. And another thing, he would be so pissed if James were to stay and win HOH and then take out Victor again, like be the reason again that he leaves. So he's not about that life. Nicole then makes her argument. She would like to see Natalie go this week. So she's saying Natalie's better at competitions than James. She's won... Did she win more than one or just that one? I can't even remember now. But she got second in this Power Veto. She's been close in a lot of other ones. So she's saying, you know, Natalie, don't underestimate her. Like, she can win stuff. And then Nicole's saying, I would be pissed if Natalie was the one to take me out. And Paul's like, oh, why? And Nicole says, I would rather be taken out by a guy than Natalie. Wow! Who didn't see that coming? But anyway, Nicole's also saying Natalie's a lot smarter than she acts. Like, she pretends that she's so dumb, whatever, but, like, who would actually brag about being dumb? It's just, like, this front that she's putting up. She said, even Michelle said that Natalie is smarter than she lets on. You know you're freaking desperate to sway people when you're bringing up things that Michelle has said. So then Paul is like, honestly, I think they both suck. But he cannot stand Natalie's attitude. He's done with her. He wants her to go. No matter what, though, Paul wants it to be a blindside this week because he wants whoever stays to be on edge for the next HOH competition, and they're all like, yeah, we could totally do that. So you've got freaking Nicole, Paul, and Corey all on one side saying that Natalie should go this week, and Victor's just like, but guys, I really want James to go. But it doesn't matter. So they pretty much convinced Victor to go along with it, to go along with getting rid of Natalie this week, even though it's not what he wants. But there's still so much time left before the eviction. You never know what could happen. So meanwhile, we've got James and Natalie talking downstairs, and James is like, all right, I blew it. I'm going to ask everyone to vote me out to keep you this week. And I'm going to tell them if I stay, I'm going to win HOH, and I'm going to put all of them up on the block. because you could really nominate 4 people. I don't see that argument convincing them, but Natalie's like, I'm pretty sure I'm the target now. Like, I know Victor called you out in his speech, but I think I'm in trouble this week. And she makes a good point. Why would Nicole and Corey keep her over James? They are so much closer to James. They've had a strong relationship with him this whole time, and they know that Natalie's not going to work with them. They've like barely ever talked game with her. So it is important to note, Nicole and Corey are the majority this week with the vote. You know, it's 2 votes to Paul's 1 vote. So whatever they decide is going to happen. So James is like, well, but Victor said that I'm the target. It's not up to him this week. Nicole and Corey can do whatever they want. So, speaking of, Nicole and Corey were strategizing in the Tokyo room, and they're saying, we definitely want to keep James. Even if that's not what Victor wants, screw it, this is happening. So, they feel like Natalie would target them if she won HOH, probably. They also feel like if she didn't win HOH and she was still there, obviously she's going to be up on the block. And if one of them is up against her, they're not so sure that they're going to be staying, because it would be pretty tempting for Paul and Victor to keep Natalie over one of them. So then, you know, on the other side, they're also thinking they would have a much better chance of pulling James back in. And, you know, if James won HOH, he could very easily go after Paul and Victor so that they wouldn't have to do it. So it would be like the exact opposite. So if James stays, they're thinking they can work with him. If Natalie stays, there's a good chance that Paul and Victor could use her to take out Nicole and Corey. So it's pretty interesting how that all worked out. So then James and Corey were chatting in the Tokyo room, and James is like, again, it's my fault that Natalie's up on the block this week. I'm the one that said that we should vote out Victor instead of you. And he asked Corey to vote him out this week. He's like, I want you to keep Natalie and get rid of me. And Corey's like, oh no, man, you stop that right now, doggy. You gotta love Corey's motivational speeches. They're kind of ridiculous. But he's telling James, you didn't know that there was going to be a jury buyback. You didn't know that Victor was coming back. So he's telling James, just chill out, have some fun, because you never know what could happen. Like Corey and Nicole already deciding they want to keep James? Yeah, that could happen. So, a little while later, James and Natalie are playing dominoes in the London room. There's a little game chat in there. This was bad. Okay, so it started out okay. Natalie, again, is saying, I really think I'm the target right now. Nicole and Corey will flip the votes on Victor. What do they care? Because he can't play in the next HOH competition anyway, so it doesn't matter. So Natalie's saying, if you stay and you work with Nicole and Corey next week, don't ever speak to me again. Oh, shit! Okay, so she's telling James, those two are the reason that we're up on the block together and that I'm going home this week. So then James is like, so you're saying that I should work with Paul and Victor who want me out. And she's just like, you know what? Do whatever you want. That's never a good sign when somebody says that. So then James is like really upset. He's like, so you never want me to talk to you again? Are you serious? Like, that's really messed up. I would never say that to you. You know, I don't care how stressed out you are in this house. Like, I would never say that. So then Natalie apologizes and she backtracks a little bit. She's like, no, I wouldn't actually stop talking to you. It's just something I said, but I didn't really mean it. So she's like, I wouldn't respect that game move if you went ahead and worked with Nicole and Corey because they betrayed us. But, of course, like, I'm still going to talk to you. So James is still really upset. They're going back and forth about this. He's saying, that was so mean. You hurt my feelings. So then Natalie brings it back to the game. She's like, I really only want you or Victor to win. So one of you two needs to get to the final two. One of you two or both of you. She doesn't want to vote for Paul anymore because he shit on her all season. She's not going to let any of that go. So then she's telling James, whichever one of us stays this week, if we win HOH, we've got to put up one from each side, do some sort of like nominee roulette. Whoever comes off the block, if somebody uses the veto, their partner would go up, blah, 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 blah. Natalie gets up to go to the bathroom, and James is talking to himself, and he's like, girls ain't loyal. Don't ever talk to me again? Wow. What are you doing, James? You came here to play Big Brother. You're just realizing that? I think James is getting a little worried that he could be throwing his game away for a relationship that's not actually going to happen. So then Natalie comes back and she digs in a little bit more. She's asking him, did you have a final 2 deal with Nicole? Did you have a final 3 deal with Nicole and Corey? Did you throw that power veto competition? So she's going in. And he just seems very, very hurt. He's like, no, I didn't have any deals with them like that. I didn't throw the competition. I was going to use the veto on you. So then they both say that they're going to campaign for the other one to stay. I just feel like last night was not good in James and Natalie land. So then this morning, Paul and Victor were chatting outside about their plan for this week. They want to make it seem like James is the one going home, but in reality, they're going to vote out Natalie, and then James is going to be like all shook up for the HOH competition. So then Natalie comes over and she's like, I want to campaign to you guys to vote me out. So she's saying now, vote me out. I want James to stay. If I had won the veto this week, I would use it on him. He's my best friend. So then Paul's like, wait, what? Like, just explain your reasoning here. Like, I'm curious about this. So she's saying, I know if James goes home this week, I am going to be the next target. So I would much rather go to the jury house than be here as the target all alone because nobody's going to talk to me. So then she's like, what are your thoughts? So Victor's like, James is my target. I've been saying that so many times. And Paul and Victor are saying, like, we respect that you're coming to us and saying this. Like, we know you're really close to James, blah, blah, blah. We'll think about it. So then Natalie's like, all right, well, if I stay, I'm just letting you know I'm not going to roll over and die. I am going to fight. I'm not going to give up, but vote for James to stay. So then she walks away, and Paul and Victor are just like, what the frig was that? They're wondering, like, is this some sort of reverse psychology? Like, we're not buying this. America don't buy this. This is not up to her anyway. So they're, like, really annoyed about it, especially since she was just throwing James under the bus yesterday. So they're like, this is bullcrap. They don't believe it at all. And I think she is saying, actually, like, oh, vote me out. Like, I think she means it. But anyway, it was just still not a good day in Natalie and James land. They had a little tiff this afternoon. Something about, like, James putting his hand on Natalie's knee while they were sleeping last night, and she, like, moved it off or something. And she was telling James, like, I don't want to show affection on TV. I don't want people to think I'm promiscuous. So he was like, I'm sorry, like, you had your leg on me. And she was like, I was asleep, like, I didn't even know what was happening. So then James brings up he's still upset about what happened, you know, what she said last night about never talking to her again. And she's like, well, I don't want to fight about this stuff. Let's just be friends, James. He did not like that. So he walked away. He went to the London room. Natalie joins him a few minutes later to talk it out. They both agree they don't want to fight. They want to enjoy their last week together. You know, they're just, like, being petty, bringing up, like, ridiculous crap. But again, Natalie's like, I don't want to show affection on TV. And they're talking about how being in the house is really messing with their emotions. We've heard it all before. But they're all good now. They were even holding hands this afternoon, which is huge for them. That's a big deal. All right. So it seems like everything's back to normal again. But then Nicole and Corey start fighting. It's just not a good day for the showmances. So Corey made some sort of comment in front of the other guys about Nicole, like, showing her true colors now. It sounded really stupid, but of course the feeds were down for the actual comments, so we only saw the fallout. So Nicole's like, that was the meanest thing you could have said to me. You know just how to make people upset. So Corey's like, it was a joke. I'm freaking kidding, Nicole. Are you serious right now? So she starts crying, and I mean, like, ah! So she's like, I don't want to hang out with you right now. So she goes to the Tokyo room. Corey follows her, and she's venting about how stressed out she is. It's 10 out of 10. And she's just going on and on about it. And Corey is, like, not being that supportive. He's kind of just sitting there, like, he's a little bit annoyed that she reacted the way she did in front of everybody. front of America, and he's worried that she made him look like a bad guy for making her cry. And she's like upset about what he said, and he's saying, "You've said much worse to me." And she's like, "I'm sorry, Corey." So after a while, come on, you know they end up cuddling again. Whatever, I'm done with that. So tomorrow is the veto ceremony. I think it's pretty safe to say Corey will be leaving the nominations as they are. But make sure you tune in tomorrow, because I'm sure there will be other fun stuff to talk about. So until then, much love.